Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for listening to Dem Boys Watch Footy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
your host E. I'm here with PJ and Waj from last week. He
What it is.
made sure to stay over this time. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to us. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We are also on Apple
Instagram.
Podcasts.
So many platforms.
Yeah, so many. And then as well, our IG is Dem Boys Watch Footy. So yeah, just please keep giving and showing some love to us as we continue on this journey. How was everybody's weekend?
Man, we chilling. I'm good. I'm fully recovered, so I'm ready to kick this off. Yeah, what about you, Waz?
Man, well, if you can tell by the jersey, my weekend was great. I pretty much focused everything around the London Derby on Sunday. So, a 3-2 win for me was pretty much all I needed to make any great day seem like a sunny Sunday.
Oh yeah, it was a joy to watch. Don't have any Tottenham fans to kind of banter with, but
Oh, I
if
do.
I if I did, I would be in heaven. 3-2. We are still top of the league. Manchester City is not going to be doing. They did a little bit of work against Nottingham Forest later in the day, but it was just really great to see the resilience, especially that second half. It could have been way worse, but we held on. I don't know why Raya likes to bring
Mm.
up blood pressure for no reason, but hey, uh, can't make it easy.
I looked like Morgan Freeman, man, by the 95th minute. I was feeling it. So.
I know,
What happened in the
right?
game? Give me the recap.
Yeah, I'll let Waj take that one away.
Okay, so Arsenal kicked it off with an own goal from the Tottenham side within the
Why
first
playlist? What happened?
13 minutes off a set piece, which was just beautiful. Then then a beautiful 40-yarder between Kai Havertz over to Bukayo Saka because they're holding on a high line as Tottenham do. So they gave us that one, and Saka just does what Saka does best. Little chilly, just cut in, went around Ben Davies, looking like he was just like knife through warm butter,
Yeah,
put it in top bins, and then King Kai, 65 million down the drain, scores again off another set piece in the all within the first half. So it was an amazing match. I think Tottenham really did try to come back and fight back. But we gifted them 2 goals. I mean, let's just put it. Let's just call it what it is.
that
But
first one too.
oh yeah, especially the first one. So yeah, it was a David Raya gifted a goal. And then the second one was a penalty after our boy Declan Rice decided that he was gonna go Karate Kid
Nice.
and knock
Full
a
nutcracker.
full nutcracker right in the bedazzled jewels.
Oh, nice.
So they got a penalty for that, but we managed to stay strong, stay holding on, especially with such a tired team. 3-2, great result for London Derby.
Yep, and now there are 3 matches left with us. Manchester City has a game in hand, and we do know that game in hands are never fully translated to full points. So there's still a really good chance that we win. Maximum points that we can get are 89. Maximum points right now Manchester City can get are 92.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it is a race to the end of mid May. So we'll see how it goes.
Hmm. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a U.S. men's national team fan, so I followed Chelsea during that period, and Chelsea had like all these amazing attacking players, but none of them really were able to like quite take off. Maybe because there's so much competition. I remember Kai Havertz was he had like some flashes of brilliance, but never fully established himself. So he has
Mm-hmm.
sort of found more of a role now at Arsenal than at Chelsea. Would you say?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. I think Mikel Arteta has finally figured out and unlocked the cheat code for Kai Havertz and
Because I
put
know
him in
he's
the right position.
yeah.
Yeah, they put him in the right position, but also they've given them the right teammates to play with, and I
Mhm.
think that's the most amazing thing with the Arsenal squad
Chelsea
is
never picks the right teammates.
no. They're just throwing money at the
I know.
problem, and I mean, look at their squad right now. It's got a full of beasts, and they
young,
can't figure out how to
young
play
bucks.
together.
Yeah, they do
Ninth
not know how to
place.
do
Yep.
it.
And
You
Arsenal's in
know,
first. So
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Cole Palmer, they'd be in relegation.
Mm-hmm.
So Chelsea have a lot of work to do, and I think we'll get into that later today. But geez, woo, it's
Congrats,
cold out there.
As a neutral, congrats. Good, sure. I don't have. I don't really know a lot of Tottenham fans. I guess in the States, maybe in other countries, there's more, but I don't know too many.
I mean, Brett Zalaski from our Major League Soccer, our
I forgot.
coach, essentially, that he is a huge Tottenham fan. So
Hmm.
there's one. I know a few that I'm in various different pools with and leagues, fantasy, whatnot, and know a few, but they were real quiet Sunday. So
Yeah, my best friend, believe it or not, is a Spurs fan. We've been friends since we were young youth, and yeah, he was quite silent. He was quite silent when the whistle blew. I checked it, around 11:30 U.S. time, and I just got a bunch of expletives back. So it was what I wanted. It was really what I wanted, and I thought I was quite kind just to let them have that one. I think this was a funny one especially for Spurs because they put all their eggs into making sure we don't win the cup instead of putting all their eggs to making sure that they make it to the Champions League next year. So joke's on you, Spurs.
exactly. Really,
Having a very
really loving it.
Spurs season. I mean, 5th place. It just seems like that's kind of where they're kind of consistently in that 4 to 10 range, borderline Champions League, more Europa League. Still a good squad. It just doesn't seem that they have ever really gotten over the hump to consistently crack the top 4.
One day, it just ain't going to be today.
When Gareth Bale has a kid, he goes to Tottenham, maybe.
Who knows, man? Big Ange could maybe bring something back next year. Who knows? But definitely not this season. They definitely crapped the bed on this one. Just didn't have the capabilities.
Are you guys both Arsenal fans just by pure coincidence?
Pure coincidence when we met, and then it's just been
Arsenal. Then it happened. Is just actually random.
Yeah, it's been a really good energy and vibe since.
that helps a friendship.
I feel like we definitely still need more diversity within the group in terms of clubs because it's just us talking about either our woes or our happiness. There's no I can't talk crap to enough people, and there's plenty of people I want to talk shit to. So I wish people would I need more of my friends to get on and choose some other teams.
This is exactly why we have created this podcast.
We're all teaching each other, kind of.
Yeah. Because definitely need a little bit more U.S. men's national team, and definitely need to get PJ more up to speed with that European or that world flavor. So yeah,
I feel like I'm really random where I know European football, but not as well as you guys. But I also will randomly follow Colo Colo and the Chilean league too. all these random leagues. I know who's in 3rd place in the A League, but I'm not an expert on any of them. So if we ever want to get into the Austrian Bundesliga or something, probably give a little bit of insight on at least the top.
I feel like you're streaming at 4 a.m. watching the Austrian Bundesliga, and you've got a simulcast on, and you're also watching the Saudi League in China just to see if something hot's going to happen.
You never know. I mean, those can be hot. You might have to expand your bets, because sometimes you may have sleepers in the J League or the Korean League.
I'm not that sweaty yet. I don't think I need to get that sweaty. So.
I think that would be a good transition. I know your bets have been relatively mainstream, European now, but we'll keep it that way for now. I know last week, you swung for the fences and missed a few. Jose Canseco without the HGH. How did you do this week? I'm very curious because you did great first week. Last week, trash. What happened this week?
This week we were right in the mid space. Had some really good swings with Arsenal. Didn't do so well with my other picks. For ease bets this week, we are rocking with Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. I'm going to say Real Madrid is going to win that one. I do not have both teams to score. I think it'll be a shutout for this first leg. And then as well, the second matchup that is coming up will be PSG versus Dortmund. I actually have that being a 3-2 win for PSG for this first round. It's just German league versus the French league. Whenever we watch those two matchup, it's super open. And I just really feel as though that is the most accurate scoreline we can rock with. PSG is going to take it. They're going to make it to the final this year. They're going to go against Real Madrid. Uh, that's the way that I see it. But for the first legs, again, we're going Real Madrid is winning. Both teams are not scoring. And then as well, PSG to win over Dortmund 3-2.
I'm a little confused about Dortmund because they did not have a good year in the Bundesliga. How do they make it to the Champions League semifinal?
Sometimes you
Yeah.
just hit the right vein of form in the right competition and you just move on. The win that they had over Inter when they beat them in a penalty shootout, they should have lost that one, but Inter didn't have the composure to win. Inter right now, champions of Serie A, they
They had
might
a
get
great season.
100 points and somehow they I don't know how they couldn't keep composure in that matchup, but Dortmund, you gotta love him. Jadon Sancho, he started really rocking out for him after he came off of loan. This is his second spell back with Dortmund, and yeah, it's something to really watch out for with that squad. They have some really good young talent. They have some old
As
talent in
always.
there with Matt
Yeah.
Hummels and Roos. And then as well, they have Julian Brandt. They have some young Englishmen. They've been really
Kareem
picking up some
Adeyemi,
young.
Emre Can. I mean,
Yeah, they've been picking up some really young Englishmen
Play
as well.
Gio
They have.
Reyna.
Yeah, well, he's a young American, not English.
He's not even on the team right now, but still.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those are my two for right now. Waj, do you have any that you want to go with?
I do. I'm a little bit opposing to yours. Bayern versus Real. I actually, you know what? I think Bayern is going to take it. It's home territory. They'll be at the Allianz, and you know how they do over there. So I think that both teams to score. I don't have any either team winning, but it'll be plus over 2.5 goals.
I like that.
But yeah, I don't have a team winning on that one. And Dortmund versus PSG. Oof, that one's. I need to. It's hard for me to know until I look at the squad. But right now, I would put it for PSG to take it by 1 goal. And I'd say over 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
I
solid
like the over.
conservative pick.
I like the over. Offensively
Yeah.
capable teams.
Most definitely. I think it's really good. It's gonna be PSG's offense versus Dortmund's defense on this one, and I mean they've both got amazing.
Who's at home in
both.
that one?
Dortmund is at home for
Dortmund's
this
home.
first leg.
Right?
Yeah.
So it just depends on how PSG come out that day.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You have the small storyline right now with Mbappe possibly facing his new club Real Madrid in the final. The thing that he's wanted to do with PSG since he's been there is win a Champions League trophy with them. That's
Maybe
the
the
culmination.
perfect way to go out.
Exactly. But then he has to go into his new squad and be like, hey guys, I'm sorry I beat you. Here we go and do it again.
Hey, man, that's football, you know.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi had to go back to Paris after he won France's
Yeah, that's
the
true.
World Cup. So, you know, I mean, he did move to Miami shortly after, but
Hey,
you know, hey.
Miami.
Yeah, Inter Miami had a pretty good weekend as well. They sold out. The New England Revolution field over up in Boston. Your old stomping
That's
grounds,
extremely
PJ.
impressive because when I worked there, for those watching, E and I worked in the MLS together. I worked for the Revolution. He worked for the Rapids, and when the best attendance we had was when David Beckham came, and they had 32,000 people. They filled the lower bowl. Most games, the Revolution attendance is crap, and it's a big thing. I don't want to get too into it now, but the stadium's far away. It's for the New England Patriots, so for them to go fill that with 68,000 people is extremely impressive, and it shows you how big of a celebrity Messi is because the Revolution can't get 15,000 people for a normal game a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could complain about the Revolution for a while, so we can save that for another time. So I'm an MLS fan, but I don't have a team in the MLS just because the Revolution are owned by the Patriots and they don't really invest anything into making the team fun or cool or even having a
Mhm.
stadium that's like within an hour of the city. So good for you, Messi, for filling that out because that's 1,000% on him, and Boots guess maybe 1%, but everyone is there for Messi.
Definitely.
Eric, who's your team in MLS?
So I started off as a DC United fan, being from Baltimore. But working for the Rapids, I just fell for it. I have a bunch of Rapids gear, a bunch of Rapids.
You got to wear it next time, bro.
I have it. I have it everywhere around. So
you just stand Cronky. You're like a Cronky family, just like
somehow,
all the
some
way.
Somehow, some way. It's he's followed. I mean, I'm not a Rams guy. I'm a Ravens person.
What about the Avalanche? You don't like the Avs?
Well, actually, I did like the Avs when I was there, but that was also because KSC, you had the tickets for free. They gave it to people that worked for the actual teams.
Benefits of working in sports.
Went off on a tangent there. Want to bring that. Want to bring that one back. I want to thank people again for watching and listening wherever they are. Want to again say to give us a like and subscribe. No, just give a like and subscribe.
Right. For a second.
No, just trying to get us up.
They're like, all right, we have Mike in San Francisco. Mike. In the future.
Long time listener, first time caller.
No, we'd love to
get 100 subscribers.
But we're trying to get some new subscribers from trying to appease the YouTube overlords, trying to get some more likes. So yeah, give us a shout, give us a like on YouTube, give us a like on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Anything helps. A subscribe also on either platform. Always give some love as well. And then if you can find our Instagram, Them Boys Watch Footy, that would be much appreciated as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to, while we're on the topic of the MLS, I think it's a really good time to segue into what might be happening in the EPL with salary caps because the MLS doesn't, or the MLS has one, which, there's a designated player rule, which, that's a little more complicated, but effectively there are salary caps. And what I love about the MLS is I think it's one of the most even and competitive leagues in the entire world. I'm not saying it's the best, but in terms of the opportunity for a team to win, the U.S. League, and then I guess Canada too, is one of the top leagues in the world. When you look at the last time a team won back-to-back championships, 13 years ago, the LA Galaxy won 2011, 2012. So how is that potentially going to translate into, obviously a lot of things have been finalized, but I just want to hear some initial thoughts from you guys. I think it's done the MLS relatively well. There are some flaws, but I mean, the EPL is such a major, major league, and no major soccer league has anything like that. So
yeah, definitely. And want to table set a little bit more on what PJ's talking about. So the Premier League this past Monday, reading a report from The Athletic right now, that the Premier League clubs have agreed to push ahead with plans for a hard spending cap. So it's a part of the squad cost rules that come into effect in the 2025-2026 season. So this past Monday, the different heads of the different teams as well as the different shareholders.
There was an update today, even, I think, right?
This was earlier today.
This is breaking news. We're bringing you the breaking news, people.
Yeah. And so you have a de facto salary cap, which will anchor maximum permitted spending of any club to a multiple of what the lowest earning side receives via the Premier League's broadcast and commercial deals. So you can look at it as the formula would be squad costs. So that means three different factors go into it. First team wage bill, the transfer fees that are amortized or brand new, and then the agent payments throughout that year. So, if we go to the 2022 to 2023 season, the lowest squad altogether made 109 million. That was their squad cost, while the
And that was
highest
Southampton, right?
that was Brentford.
last
Brentford.
year.
Yeah, and then the highest squad cost was Chelsea with 539 million British pounds. And so the next season, in effect, so if this rule was in effect for the 23 to 24 season, which is this year, it would the salary cap would be 518 million, and that would be for all teams.
But wait, I thought Chelsea was at that level.
Yeah, and so they're trying to cap teams to spend more than what they did the previous year. So right now, what you're seeing, so Chelsea within the last 2 years, they've spent $1 billion
I thought you said
to
they
buy
spent
players.
half a billion. Did I
They
miss that?
spent half a billion in 2022 to 2023.
Yeah.
In 2021 to 2022, they spent another 500 million.
Okay.
And so they're trying to cap teams from doing that level of spending because A, it doesn't give proper competitive balance, and then B, it doesn't really allow teams that are in the lower revenue half of the league to be able to compete with the higher spenders. I mean, right now we're seeing tactically Chelsea is not doing well on the field, and they have all of these players. So
They're an outlier, though. Money usually means winning, broadly
Yeah.
speaking. Not always, but usually.
yeah, Chelsea
Most
back
definitely.
in 2003, 2004, winners, and that was after significant investment into the squad. But what we're seeing is that the competitive balance is really shifting to the top 8 Premier League teams really
Yeah.
just staying, battling it out.
But it's that on top of, and I think, this is one of the biggest problems is, yes, it sounds good to put the salary cap on because it can help other teams, but at the same time, the lower tiered teams in the league. But at the same time, the players' salaries themselves, their valuation, not their salaries, but their valuation has skyrocketed through the roof in the past 10 years. So we have an issue here where we want to put in spending caps, but if one player is now worth 115 million, then what is some
Brentford.
what's Brentford supposed to do? What's Luton supposed to do? So I think we need to. It's more than just looking at it from the perspective of, oh well, if they just buy less players, or if they kind of cut their purse strings a little bit, we need to also devalue these players, and not without taking away their actual skill. But it's just the values have skyrocketed. They've skyrocketed through the roof.
Would that
and
potentially mean that there would be a flight of elite players from the EPL?
Well, that's the question, right? But where are you going to go?
Yeah. I mean,
Real
you
Madrid,
can go to,
PSG, one of like 3 or 4 teams.
You can go to what? Are you going to go to the MLS? Nah.
I mean,
well, because the MLS currently,
Never
I mean, the way that the MLS is set up, they wouldn't be able to take care and pay any of these players.
They're
that are
not
from
going
the
to France. They're not going to Spain. They're not going to Italy. We all know the best league in the world is the English Premier League because it's got the most competitive teams, within 20 teams.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Facts.
I mean,
Germany. Come on now.
Germany's about to get that 5th Champions League spot. So
look, Germany has always had 5 good teams, and it's the same 5.
Not
good
always,
teams, right?
Not
and
always.
it's usually Dortmund and Bayern, and Werder Bremen and Leverkusen.
Leverkusen hasn't been this good ever. This is their first ever
Spain.
Title.
Spain is like Barca,
Real
Madrid. I mean, Girona. The fact that Girona's even second right now is hilarious to me. Right? Italy, same thing. It's Milan, Juve, right, and Roma, and Napoli, of course. Don't ever sleep on Napoli. But that's it. Yeah. There's only four or 5 teams right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Are these teams going to have to, like, for example, a team like Chelsea, are they going to have to potentially sell some of their players? How's that going to work for the high spending teams?
So right now, Chelsea, a lot of their players are on 8-year contracts, and so yeah,
That's how they got around it.
they
Commitment.
got around the financial fair play that was already set up by being able to spread out. It's
Kind of big picture here. Do you guys think this is a positive thing?
I feel as though the copy of Major League Soccer is not going to be an apples to apples project, just because.
No, well, it's going to be a different structure, even though it's broadly the same idea, right?
I mean, they're more so about the spending, and they still haven't brought this up to the players' union or the players' association.
Yeah,
I personally think this could be a good thing. It can really just put teams in check, like City and Chelsea, that go on crazy spending sprees that no one can compete with. It also gives the opportunity for lower league teams, especially if you're coming from from the Championship or League One, to make a more realistic plan. I mean, if we take a team like Wrexham, perfect example, right? Shout out to Wrexham because they just got promoted. They're about to go into League One. Back-to-back promotions. They, if they get promoted again,
the actor,
with the Ryans, with
Ryan
Mr.
Reynolds,
McEnany and Reynolds. So, if they make it to, let's just hope. I mean, knock on wood, they can make it and get promoted next year. I doubt it'll happen. They probably need 2 years to do it. But if they can get into the Premiership in the next 5 years, then they can be playing against the big boys. And what an amazing Cinderella story that would be. But that can only be possible if there is spending caps. Because in 5 years, how much money did Chelsea and City and Villa and Newcastle and teams that are especially owned by billionaires?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen there, where they don't really care how they spend? And as we've seen, teams like Man City, we're still waiting for them to go to court.
Yeah,
that's
supposed to be happening spending at the end of the year.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, right now you have a few teams that have broken financial fair play this year. In Everton and Nottingham Forest, they've been deducted points wise. Like Waj just said, we have a few teams that are having to go into that squad in particular. Manchester City is going to have to actually go face up to their charges. Their 115 charges.
115.
What?
They have 115 potential breaches of financial fair play that they have to answer for in court at the end of the season. So we'll know at
what
the
do
end
they
of
do?
the year.
They thought they were Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio. Turns out that everyone can get caught.
Yeah. They have a lot
penalized, at least in like the league or anything. They might have financial penalties.
Well, that's what the answering at the end of the year is about. So, but back to the point with trying to create and develop a competitive balance, like I do agree with Waj that it is a good thing in the short term. I just don't feel as though placing a hard cap on any wages would be a good thing. And I really hope that's not what this turns into. I think players are the ones that drive the revenue. It's not just the clubs. Clubs are great in the long term, the big picture. That brings out the emotion. That gives you that sense of camaraderie. But at the same time, the players that are actually playing, they're the reason why people really care about it. And if you put a hard cap on that, you put a hard cap on creativity, hard cap on just the tangible, the intangible things in the world that people love about sport.
Very deep, very poetic. What are the chances you think this happens?
Well, only 3 teams actually have voted against it. Manchester United, Manchester City, and Aston Villa.
Yeah, obviously.
Shocker.
And Chelsea, fun enough.
Yeah, Villa. They're going through a massive rebuild, so of course they don't want that.
Yep. And then, funny enough, Chelsea, one of the main reasons why this was even voted on in the first place, they abstained. So they came in, the new owners, Todd Bowley from the U.S., he came in, he put $1 billion into a team. He radicalized how contracts worked. And then he said, you know what? I'm going to take a step back.
It's like the UN, but worse.
Exactly. So yeah,
How is that going to
finally,
affect you guys, though? You as Arsenal fans, you guys are fourth in spending, potentially give you a little bit less of a competitive advantage. No, selfishly.
well, that's what I wanted to get back to because Bukayo Saka, he signed 4 years, $6.2 million this past year. So he essentially makes $1.5 million a year. If
Doesn't sound like a
we
lot.
exactly, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you do that over an 8 year period, like Chelsea did, you could hide some of that money some other places. So that's what the Premier League is trying to fight against, which I
Mm.
Mhm.
understand. Like you're not supposed to be able to essentially create a surf agreement with someone saying that in 8 years you're going to be making this much amount of money. We do need to curb that type of
Mhm.
recklessness within the league. So
I think for Arsenal, it's actually kind of it's finally coming back full circle, right? Because Arsenal spent years, season upon season, being very frugal, developing youth talent, bringing in almost no name players and developing them. And for many of those years, it was not working. The math
yeah,
was not math, and the results were not adding up. And that goes from Arsene Wenger to Unai Emery, even Freddie Ljungberg, and that's it, Mikel Arteta. So it's finally gotten there, but it's taken, you know, a nice portion of my life out of that, out of that, a nice chunk out to get to that point. But now, I mean, and Arsenal is finally now at a very good financial place. Everything's paid off. We've got reinvested players. But we're still horrible at selling players. So,
Yeah.
but I think just from a pure financial perspective, that Arsenal's definitely been one of the smarter teams without having to take major money or loans or anything like that.
yep,
I
very
agree.
much true.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the short run, I am good for it. In the long run, it's a wait and see. I mean, I'm still waiting to see how good it is with Major League Soccer. Right now, I'm still outside of the older players that are coming over here. I'm still waiting for more of that developed talent that doesn't want to leave MLS, and then as well are going to be paid to their level or
If
paid
they
to their
are able to
potential.
get paid, then maybe they will stay. Um,
Exactly. And I don't, because of the hard cap that MLS has right now, I don't think that's going to work. So maybe a hybrid option is going to work as well.
yeah, I guess that's one of the downsides is that it's a little difficult to retain players. I mean, the obvious upside, like I mentioned before, is that the MLS is a very, very even competitive league where you genuinely feel 7 or 8 teams have a chance to
Hmm.
make it. Obviously, playoff helps, but even in terms of the supporter shield, you feel like a lot of teams can be competitive. But that is, I guess, one of the downsides is you might have some player flight.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or additional comments, please leave them in the comment section or send over an email like you all have in the past. So yeah,
We get emails.
yeah, we do
Oh
get
man!
emails. We get text
Wow.
messages, we get emails, we
Any
get
spicy ones,
comments.
you have to read them the next time. So
Next time I
I want to
will
hear them,
read.
good or bad.
I mean, I want to get a fax. That's what I'm trying to get these
Yeah.
days, right? I miss
uh,
those.
I'm gonna show a Carfax on our stream once. So yeah.
No.
All right, and wanted to jump into our next section. Give some time for PJ to give us some U.S. men's national team news. Let him take that away.
Yeah, like we talked about before the show, there's not too much going on in terms of the U.S. men's national team. The Milan, there or AC Milan played. I was going to say the Milan Derby. It's kind of the American Derby. Juventus and AC Milan. So 4 Americans in lineup, 0-0. Pretty boring game, but not too much going on. The big news, obviously, like we mentioned last week, is my man Destino. You know, he's half American, half Dutch, but plays full Brazilian. He's out for a while. He's a very, very bad injury. I think it's an ACL. I'm not exactly sure, but he might not even play this year. So who's going to play right back is going to be interesting. But really, just looking forward to. I don't know if we have any good, interesting friendlies coming up. So just really looking forward to the Copa America. It's getting closer, about a month and a half away. So I don't know if you guys like how much you guys follow, or if you have any comments or insights. Maybe we can talk a little MLS too. Waz, are you an MLS fan? Do you follow the MLS, or
You
where are
know,
you?
I tried. I really did try.
You
You
did
know,
try, yeah.
when I was really getting into it, I was Red Bulls. You know, I was supporting Red Bulls, of course. TT Thierry, you know, the legend Thierry Henry was here playing alongside, you know, Ian Wright's son, Sean Wright Phillips, or sorry, Bradley
All
Phillips.
right, Phillips.
And I just was like, you know, let me try to get into this. But man, it was. I mean, I think MLS is very different now than it was then.
Yeah.
And I couldn't for the life of me. I could not do it. So I tried to leave it NYCFC, but I definitely couldn't do that. I can't support anything that's with the same team as Man City, right?
Facts.
But
Facts.
facts, right? So you know, but I'm supporting, but no MLS team, just you know, just the U.S. men's national.
Yep.
Yeah.
No MLS shaming out here. We are keeping it an equal
So
playing field.
Yeah, we
in
neutral.
the U.S. men's national team community, like it's like a big debate of like MLS players versus European players, and it seems like most people like just do not want to see the U.S. men's national team has gotten to the point where they have Champions League players on their roster, where they do not want to see MLS players on the team anymore. It's like pretty contentious. Like they think a few people deserve it. But yeah, I think in the Copa America, we might have one or two MLS players at the most. It's the very kind of sensitive issues. There's people that are like, who like the MLS, like me and Eric, and there's people who just hate it, maybe like you, was.
I would say I hate it. I just say, I you
Very
know, I can't
contentious
watch it.
with the U.S. men's national team.
I would definitely sound pretentious about it. Yeah.
But I don't know. I
Mm.
think it'd be interesting because what's interesting about the MLS is that, like, if it were like baseball, for example, which has no salary cap, the New York teams probably would be like sick, right? The Yankees are the best because they have all the money.
Hmm.
And if like New York, I don't know, because New York is like a major city and has a population advantage, like how that demographics would shift. So you see teams like
Hmm.
Columbus winning, but you don't see that too much in baseball, like salary capless sports. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, like even within American sports, looking at it because some have salary caps and some don't. You know what I mean?
Well,
Hmm.
I was also going to ask, you know, just going a little bit away from still talking on U.S. men's team about the Olympics.
Yeah,
And I obviously
exciting.
they're trying to pick the you know they're trying to make a strong side for both Copa America and the Olympics. Everything's getting picked pretty much right now. How do you think the U.S. team will do the U.S. men will do in the Olympics this year?
Yeah, it depends on who they're sending, right? And I think a lot of teams
Mm-hmm.
that are in both are having the same issues. So the U.S. is a very young team, so that's
Mm-hmm.
good. But what it means is a lot of people are dual eligible. So a lot of
Right.
the
Right.
players are senior team quality, but they're also eligible for the Olympics because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Olympics is a U23 tournament with I believe three slots for overage players. So
Mm-hmm.
how they do is largely up to who they end up sending. I mean, we probably have a pretty good idea because our senior team is mostly made up, but the team has been doing well. They drew France in a friendly. They have France in their group as well. And then the rest of the group is not too strong. So, yeah, you never know. I don't know. I think Mexico, won one like a while ago, and I don't think the U.S. has
Yeah.
Hmm.
made a super deep run ever. So it'd be cool if they did because they really do have the talent to go at least further than they've ever done. Are you guys going to be following Olympic soccer? What's your view? Because I haven't followed too much of it in the past. With the U.S. with a good team this year, I am going to be watching it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for some of the matches that are going to come up, which is really cool that there are going to be a lot of MLS players. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
players
Yeah,
from 17 different clubs, including 8 from Major League Soccer, which is really nice. 2 players are coming from the Columbus Crew, from Philadelphia Union, and as well as the New York Red Bulls. The main player I'm really looking at, though, funny enough, is over in Europe. Kevin Paredes. He plays
he's
for
good.
Wolfsburg. Yeah, I feel as though he's the next like big striker that's going to be. really strong for us. He plays that center forward, center attacking mid, second striker role. So that's what I'm really looking out for that player more
They've already
so.
released the Olympic roster.
No, this is the players from the last friendlies.
Oh,
That
okay.
Mhm.
I
yeah,
was like, oops, I'm behind.
yeah.
You know, I got one guy just purely, and this is kind of funny. It's because he's on my FIFA squad, but Gianluca Busio.
Oh,
Yeah, from I think Venezia.
yeah.
Yeah. Venezia.
Yeah, There
I
is
gotta do I gotta do the proper thing. Yeah,
Also, those
man.
jerseys are fire over there. So.
He's
You know,
having a
that's
good
the one.
season.
That's the one thing with Olympics, man. It's gonna be jersey shopping season.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, but wanted to add this one in before we are starting to wrap up. The Women's World Cup. So we've been on a dope run of footy that's coming over to the U.S. In
the dopest run
2027.
ever.
Yeah,
Are you
2027,
kidding
the
me?
U.S. is not going to be getting the Women's World Cup. The U.S. and
Hmm.
Mexico
That would have been
withdrew.
unfair.
Yeah,
That would have been
yeah,
unfair. Copa
They withdrew
America.
their they withdrew their bid to
Yep,
focus on the 2031.
31.
So right now we have Brazil or a dual bid with the Netherlands and Germany for the Women's World Cup.
Man,
That would have been
you
unfair if we got it.
the women's national team. Talk about a team full of beasts.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see their Olympic team. I've got to actually look at it. I mean, we'll see when everything gets picked, but I wonder who's going to come actually with the stronger squad, the men's team or the women's team, because they're both got a lot of young talent right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a good one for the US.
I feel it. I feel it. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing in both the the women's league right now, the
Hmm.
NWSL. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing over in Europe, especially Champions League. So yeah, it's a lot of excitement right now with women's footy, and so yeah, just really excited of where it can really be pushed to. I know there was a Gotham matchup, New York, New Jersey, Gotham, the women's team here. They played on Sunday in New York, and so yeah, I mean, it's just footy always around us, you know.
We might see some bets on women's games in the future.
Hey, we can get sweaty with that. I just gotta make sure that we have the right moves for that. I gotta
You
dive
got to
a
do
little
your
bit
research.
deeper
Oh,
into
we need more research on that. But I mean, I'm happy to
Getting a little too excited there.
it.
count me in.
All right, so yeah, our last segment. This is going to be our quick cuts, our top bins. So anything that is heartwarming, funny, crazy that you've heard in the footy world. My first one is going to be with what we talked about a little bit earlier, the Wrexham owners, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElneny. They bought a minority stake within Liga MX's Necaxa. That is in Mexico. And they also join celebrities Ava Longoria, Mesut Ozil, Kate Upton, Odell Beckham Jr., Justin Verlander, Victor Oladipo, Richard Hamilton, and a few others to who have also made investments in Necaxa.
That's so random.
Yes, there are different ways to look at that deal.
You're gonna have to why like a mid-table or less Mexican league team.
Yeah, you can look at it like that. You can look at it as an investment for the future, or you can look at it as a money laundering scheme. Who knows?
Anything.
When I saw
It's like
when I
maybe
saw all of those names associated, I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
who's this accountant?
they might
Yeah.
really love tacos. They might
Yo,
really
who's the money manager on this one? Because either
Hey.
this is a genius idea or they all just got bamboozled and
Mhm.
fleeced.
Yeah.
I hope it's the former,
Same.
right? I hope it's the former.
We are not casting any doubt about deals here. We're just saying all of the different angles that it can be in.
So I'll see your Necaxa minority buy in, and I will raise you.
Ooh,
I got the story for you guys. So,
bring the
as you
heat.
may know, again, it all keeps going back to Arsenal, so I apologize, but it's in the news. Is my main lady, the baddest actress in the streets right now, who's the same age as me, I think, give or take, Anne Hathaway has been, very much being very vocal about her support for Arsenal over the past couple of weeks. So much so that she's literally been in interviews and has been, as she's literally watching the games off camera. And so last week there was a clip that went viral of Leandro Trossard scoring, her basically stopping the interview for her new movie to kind of just shout and scream a little bit and be very happy. So Leandro Trossard, after the Tottenham match on Sunday, sent Anne Hathaway a message which got sent to one of the morning stations, and during the interview she received that message and freaked out at the idea of Leandro Trossard sending her a message. So that was that very very heartwarming little thing to see on Monday morning.
Oh, that's
Definitely.
nice.
Yeah, it's really good to see. Arsenal is just a club for everybody. All the big stars are really following us right now. It's really lovely to see like all of that good positive energy. Like it's just only we're only getting better. That's all.
I want to go to this city now and see why like all these NBA players and celebrities are randomly investing in this Mexican team.
Are we taking this? Are we taking the pod on the road? Are we going down to the Coxa?
Are we going to?
If we can just organize.
We do need to do a
trip.
Somewhere.
Yeah, let's
an
do
off-campus destination sometime.
Yeah. And then I would say my last bit of news, Leicester City. They were relegated, and they just sealed the championship win. So back into the Premier League they go. Jamie Vardy, the old hero, he is now back in. So he's back in the Prem after winning it over Arsenal that year and Tottenham.
That's good.
Yeah, that man is a diehard, bro. Yeah, talk about loyalty.
Yeah, he was in like the 8th level. Really good to see the old guard making sure that the new guard is able to really reap the benefits and all the love and glory of being back in the Premier League. So
the man is closer to 40 than he is to 30. He's taking the team back up to the Prem. Like, yeah,
it's pretty dope.
I thought only Thiago Silva could do that.
Pretty dope to see.
I'll root for them. If I'm neutral, I'll root for them.
Go
Whenever you guys are talking about Arsenal, I'm just like, I don't like Arsenal, but I don't hate them, so I don't really know what to say. Like, my instinct is either to be like, yeah or boo, and I'm just like, sure.
Honestly, I kind of wish you hated them. That way we could at least have some banter.
To make our podcast better. I can hate them.
Why don't you right? Like, you should support like Man City, so then no one likes you, and then that way we can like get in like heated arguments about stuff, like.
Or you could find another team.
No one supports Man City. Dear listeners, if any of you are Man City supporters, please phone in, send us a fax. Let us know.
I'll wear a Man City jersey. I like their jerseys though,
They have a really dope third kit, I will say. So I'll give that to them.
I will not.
Oh, it's been awesome speaking with everyone today. Waj, PJ, is really great to have you. Really glad to have our listeners on. We are Dem Boys Watch Footy. Hope you guys have a great time. Have a good one.
Ciao.